Governor Walz, you blame Donald Trump. Who has been the vice president for the last 3.5 years? And the answer is your running mate, not mine.
Holy moly, guys. I'm not going to lie. I'm surprised. I think JD Vance just put on one of the best debate performances that I've personally ever seen. Now, I'm only 33 years old, so maybe some of you all have seen better debates, but me personally, I'll put it like this. This is one of the most dominating debate performances that I've ever seen. The most dominating because Tim Walz just got absolutely destroyed. Now, I know some of you all may be new to this channel, but those of you all who have been watching, you can tell these people in the comments below. I have never been sold on JD Vance. I've been skeptical about JD Vance. I had my questions about JD Vance. But there's no denying the performance that he put on tonight. I mean, looking at Tim Walz, he literally looked like he was going to break down in tears at any moment. From the first question, Tim Walz already looked shook. He looked scared. He looked terrified. And throughout the entire night, I didn't think anyone could look worse than Joe Biden at that last debate he had with Donald Trump. The way Joe Biden's mouth was just open the whole time. He looked old, frail, and scared. But Tim Walz, he's like an animated type of guy. You know what I mean? Like he walks around kicking his legs, waving his hands in the air sporadically, right? So he's a really animated guy, so you can read how he's feeling. It's all over his face, and his face told no lie during this entire debate. The guy was incredibly shook. And really early on, it didn't take long for JD Vance to just put the nail in the coffin. It's like this debate really could have ended after like the second question, because that's all it took. Like right here, I'm going to show you this clip. At this moment, they could have ended the debate. Right at this moment. Let's go ahead and roll the clip, and then I'll be right back with more.
Honestly, Tim, I think you got a tough job here because you've got to play whack-a-mole. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver rising take-home pay, which of course he did. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver lower inflation, which of course he did. And then you simultaneously got to defend Kamala Harris's atrocious economic record, which has made gas, groceries, and housing unaffordable for American citizens. I was raised by a woman who would sometimes go into medical debt so that she could put food on the table in our household. I know what it's like to not be able to afford the things that you need to afford. We can do so much better. To all of you watching, we can get back to an America that's affordable again. We just got to get back to common sense economic principles.
Let's just be completely honest here, folks. A lot of people might not like to hear this, but, Trump has a way of talking. And I get Trump. And I know most of you all understand Trump. But some people don't. And, like I said, Trump has a way of talking, and a lot of people like it, but some people don't, right? We all can acknowledge that. And I think for some of us, when we hear Trump speak, when Trump delivers his points, we get it. We understand. Because we understand what he's trying to say. We understand where he's coming from. But there's a large portion of people that simply don't. And I think JD Vance is good in a sense because he can come in and deliver some of Trump's points in a way that Trump himself can't even deliver them. And that's not to say that JD Vance is better than Trump, because that's not what I think at all. But I'm saying that for some people whose brains can't, for some reason, compute what Trump says, right? And like I said, Trump has a way of talking. It's Trump speak. We all know it, right? So I think that JD Vance can come in and, really hammer home some of these points in a way that's clearer to understand for the average person who isn't keyed in understanding how Trump talks and how Trump speaks about things. So I think tonight J.D. Vance did a really good job of doing that, at hammering home some of the points that I wish Trump would have hammered home in his last debate. But you see, J.D. Vance also, even though he is pressured by the media, even though the media is demonizing him, he doesn't have to deal with the level of scrutiny that Trump does. Like tonight, the moderators showed some bias. We know the moderators don't like J.D. Vance, but they didn't attack him in the way Trump did, right? So during Trump's debate, it was more of a 3-on-1. Tonight, I think it was more of a fairer debate. Even though there were some things in there that I didn't like from the moderators, I think tonight was a fairer debate, which gave, J.D. Vance an opportunity to hammer some of these points home. Because Trump is usually on the defensive, taking shots, and I guess you could say literally from everywhere at this point. But yeah, I think a dominating performance from J.D. Vance. I expected him to win. I was confident that he would win going into the debate. I didn't think that it would be a flawless victory, like on freaking Mortal Kombat or something. It was terrible for Tim Walz. But trust me, folks, we're going to be talking more about this debate in future videos. I got a lot of clips I want to show you all. But for now, let me know what you think about the debate down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell. And if you find yourself getting too worked up by all of this, remember, it's just political cinema.